All right, guys, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the three main types of clouds that we would encounter in our atmosphere and sort of what these three mean. So the first cloud we're going to take a look at is a cumulus cloud. Oh. Cumulus. Now, cumulus clouds are those ones that we see in the sky, and they're puffy. They kind of remind us of different shapes. So if I were to make a picture of a cumulus cloud, it would be sort of like those ones that, we make when we're little, kind of those cotton ball type clouds. That's my cumulus cloud. Now, cumulus clouds can mean a few things. So I'm going to go to my next whiteboard and we'll talk about what cumulus clouds could mean. So first, these clouds are large. So we'll kind of define what they look like. Sorry, I'm having trouble with this stylus. Large, puffy, white clouds, that sometimes have gray centers. Now you should be writing this down just like we have been with previous notes. So that's kind of like our definition so far of cumulus clouds. Large, puffy, white clouds that sometimes have gray centers. They have interesting shapes. And they continuously change. All right, so large, puffy, white clouds that sometimes have gray centers with interesting shapes that continuously change. One more fact, I'm going to move to a new whiteboard since I can't fit it here. Most often, associated with fair weather. So that means if we see blue skies and these puffy clouds, then that means it's probably going to be a pretty nice weather day. Oftentimes, cumulus clouds are going to have fair weather unless they're sort of piled up tall, which we'll talk about toward the end of this video. But general, just cumulus clouds, they're going to be associated with fair weather. All right, the next cloud we're going to take a look at is going to be a cirrus cloud. And cirrus clouds kind of look curled. I'm going to change the color just so you know we're on a different cloud here. But this is known as a cirrus cloud. And cirrus clouds are kind of these wispy, curled, almost look like wispy feathers high in the sky. Those are our cirrus clouds. So that's what they look like. Now in our next whiteboard here, we're going to talk about them. So they're the highest clouds. Highest clouds look feathery and white. Now, if you're out and about, it's not like there's only one type of cloud in the sky. There could absolutely be cirrus clouds higher up and cumulus clouds further down. It's not like there's just one type of cloud every day that's out there. And there's a mixture of these clouds as well. And these ones, since they're so high up, they're not made of water droplets. I know we've said that during condensation, they form water drops and create clouds. Well, that is true for most of them. However, these ones are so high up that they're actually made of ice crystals. All right, so the highest clouds look feathery and white, made of ice crystals. All right, our third type of cloud that we're going to take a look at is a stratus cloud. And a stratus cloud, they're kind of very low, sort of flat gray clouds. And they kind of cover a very large area like a blanket. So I'm going to kind of just make some flat clouds that cover a big surface. Those are my stratus clouds. So go ahead and draw your stratus clouds. If you want to make them a little gray, if you're using colors, you could certainly do that as well. And I'm going to move on to the next whiteboard so we can talk a little bit about them. All right, so some facts about stratus clouds. They're flat, layered gray clouds. These are typically the ones that we think of when we have those really cloudy days where it's just kind of overcast and nasty, sort of drizzly or long periods of rain. That's typically going to be stratus clouds that we see in the sky. So flat layered gray clouds, put another comma there. It works like a blanket to let little sun through. So clouds in general work like a blanket. This spot on my is not working very well. I don't know why. Maybe I have to clean my screen here, but that's works. Works like a blanket, and I'll come back to my thought here in a minute. To let little sun through. So, clouds in general are sort of something that blankets the earth. And if you have a lot of cloud cover, sometimes that cloud cover will keep the sun from coming through. So therefore, during the day, it will be cooler. However, clouds can also sort of work as an insulator at nighttime because that air sort of stays trapped within that layer. So it can be really, really cold on cold, crisp nights when the sky is very void of clouds or doesn't have a lot of them. So clouds are sort of a blanket, and they can blanket us and insulate us from the sun, or they can help trap the heat in and keep it a little bit warmer at times as well. So our stratus cloud, flat layered gray clouds, works like a blanket to let little sun through. Responsible for long periods of drizzling rain or snow. Just depends on what the temperatures are. Okay, so there's my first 3 facts. I've got 2 more for stratus clouds. My next one, it's found lower in the sky. So it kind of goes stratus, cumulus, cirrus, based on the ones we've talked about. So found lower in the sky, and fog is actually an example of a stratus cloud. So fog forms low at the ground when we've got kind of a warm and a cool air mass that's coming in contact with each other, and we get that fog that forms. It's basically a cloud, but we can walk through it and drive through it, but it's right on the ground. And you notice when the sun comes out, that's typically when fog goes away, because the temperatures kind of change the cool and warm air mass, and it makes that fog move or go, disappears. This thing is not being agreeable today. Let's see, let me erase that part. All right, fog is a type of stratus cloud. Okay, so those are our three main types of clouds. However, there can be a whole bunch of combination clouds that are formed from these three. Well, another word that becomes very important when we talk about clouds is this word. It is the word nimbus. Now, I think Harry Potter had some kind of a Nimbus 3000 or something for his broom one time, right? So, nimbus. So when you see that term nimbus, that typically means it's going to produce precipitation. So one type of cloud that we would encounter, especially in the summertime, would be a cumulonimbus. So if you have a cumulonimbus cloud, it starts to kind of pile up and it grows bigger like this, and it starts to get dark. So this type of cloud would be a cumulonimbus. I've got to make a little hyphen because I can't fit it all. And cumulonimbus clouds are known for thunderstorms. So this is a thunderstorm producing cloud. So, we've said stratus, those are going to be sort of those long rainy periods of the days. But we all have seen, especially in North Carolina, we can get these thunderheads that sort of stack up really quickly, and it brings us those powerful storms. But those storms don't last all day. They come and they go. So cumulus clouds by themselves are generally fair weather clouds. But when we have these stacked on top of each other and they're dark, kind of gray, they almost even look black at times, those clouds are cumulonimbus, and that means that a storm is going to be coming. We need to probably be careful. All right, so those are our three main clouds, and you're going to need this information for today when you go over to your wrap-up.